And for your information, I prefer sugar-free artificial sweeteners made by man!
I'm sorry about all that.
I know it's got an aftertaste! I like it!
Today, I'm going to tell you why Barry B. Benson is a villainous thug.
What you want, some?
Barry, a villainous thug. I hear you ask. He saved the bees. He can't be a villain. Well, be prepared to be wrong because we are going to find out Barry's biggest secrets and why Ken is the most misunderstood character of the whole movie. Finally, some justice for Ken. Let's get it done. B-Movie is a 2007 animated comedy film, and the start of the movie gives us viewers a small insight to bee life. We see Barry and her enthusiastic Adam go about their lives after an induction to the Hive's workforce after graduation. This movie seemed to waste no time going weird, and we will shortly get to see Barry's big secret, but the first of many weird moments comes on the graduation float. Here's the clip.
That girl was hot.
She's my cousin.
She is?
Yes, we're all cousins.
Right, you're right.
Hitting a home run straight into incest, perfect for a kid's movie. Not long after this great incest clip, we come across one of Barry's secrets and the whole reason for everything else in the movie, the master log if you will.
What are you talking about?
Barry realizes that just like everyone else in the Hive, he must pick one job for the rest of his life.
But choose carefully, because you'll stay in the job that you pick for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life.
You can see on Barry's face he ain't happy and is about to go into Karen mode before being jokingly told he will be worked to death. So, this is just the beginning of Barry's thuggery. The whole movie rests on the fact Barry does not want to work in the same job for the rest of his life, or even worse. He wants to not work at all, which soon happens later in the movie. This is just the start of his villainous plan and the master log reason to why the rest of the movie takes place. Shortly, we see the pollen jocks take Barry out of the Hive for the first time, which by the way he is reminded that there is absolutely no talking to humans by the pollen jock general. If you're familiar with the film, you will know he then gets caught in the rain. After being caught in the rain, he crashes onto the windowsill of his future accomplice, and this is where we first see the misunderstood Ken. Now Ken seems to be lacking attention from Vanessa Bloom, who we assume is his girlfriend. We see continuously throughout the film that she may also be losing an interest in him romantically. On to the scene where they arrive back at the apartment. After playing tennis, we see them with some friends, and Ken seems to be talking to them and showing off his resume, possibly because his psycho girlfriend doesn't pay him enough attention. We will get to his brochure in a second, so just remember how proud he is of his brochure. Barry then falls into some dip and is almost eaten until Ken shouts,
Stop! Bees!
This is where we first learn Ken is allergic to bees, and although his reaction may be a little dramatic, after learning he is allergic, it seems reasonable to not want to swell up or potentially die. But, just on time, Vanessa shows up before the winter boots have a chance to smash, saving Barry, questioning why Ken's life has any more value than his. What's worse is she rips his brochure, the brochure he clearly worked hard on and was proud of. Later, we see Vanessa alone in the apartment and Barry debating whether to say thank you, and if you remember earlier, the pollen jock reminded him, no talking to humans, and he know it's a bee law but goes ahead anyway, after the ionic "yeah like jazz" catchphrase.
You like jazz?
Barry seems to have no respect for a bee law that has been in place to protect the bees for thousands, if not millions of years. This total disregard for bee law is a disgrace. After Barry introduces himself to Vanessa, we see a series of arguments between her and Ken which eventually lead to their breakup.
We need to talk, and he happens to be the nicest bee I've met in a long time.
Long time? What are you talking about?
Goodbye, Ken.
Oh!
Vanessa actually breaks up with Ken for a bee. What? Ken, I'm telling you she's not worth it, leave them to be happy, she's crazy. Yes, I had to get in a bee pun in this video, a weak bee pun, and just as weak as the foundations Barry and Vanessa's weird relationship is built on. The film soon sees this absolute psycho Beach become some sort of lawyer when in reality she should be put in a psych ward, and Barry, who can't seem to tell the difference between a light bulb and the sun, eventually win their case. So, as you can see, they eventually win and the settlement is put into action, destroying many businesses and not to forget, the use of an unnecessary dart on Pooh Bear. All honey is returned to hives. The production of honey soon comes to a halt and the bees start their vacation, causing the process of pollination to stop and all the plants and trees to die. Next thing we know, the bees seem to have changed their mind and production seems to start back up. Not all is lost though. It seems as though the duo's master plan to completely control the honey and florist sector seems to be going to plan, with the flower shop's business booming with many customers in while Barry's law firm sees to a cow. To top it all off, we see a miserable Ken, devastated to see the life he once had. To conclude, I believe these two villains had planned the whole thing so they could control the whole honey supply. As we see, the honey has to be approved before being sold, and obviously Vanessa's flower shop business seems to be booming, making the two very wealthy. They both discard Ken aside like he was nothing, gaslighting him when he was in fact, although a little crazy, the only normal one. Sadly, we do not see what happens to Ken and we cannot call him a hero, but he is definitely a fan favorite and I would definitely encourage a spin-off about Ken. All he wanted was yogurt night. And that is why Barry is a villainous thug. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I thought this would be a cool perspective on the movie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and just remember this video is for entertainment and not to be taken too seriously. Don't forget to leave your video suggestions in the comments and subscribe. Thanks for watching.